Baker Mayfield is now calling the shots in Tampa Bay. If any of y'all didn't see, there is an article out there where they're asking Baker Mayfield, what does he, is he going to sign back with Tampa, basically? And he's like, hey, man, it depends on who they bring in as the offensive coordinator. We'll see. I love Tampa because they gave me an opportunity, but we're going to take this one day at a time. Think about this from last year. Baker Mayfield was begging to just have a job in the NFL. He was begging to have a job. And he goes from that to basically telling Tampa Bay, you better bring in the right guy or I'm leaving. Don't you love how the tables can turn in sports so quickly? I love that. I love it. Jalen, you're damn right over on TikTok. Then Baker Mayfield was almost out of the league. He absolutely was. And now Baker's going to, because if you think that Tampa's the only team that wants Baker Mayfield to be a quarterback, you're kidding yourself. There's about 10 to 12 other teams in the league right now that will say, you know what, we can sign Baker. We can have Baker be our quarterback. And it's just wild how fortunes can change and narratives can change so quickly in sports in general. I mean, nobody in the world thought that about Baker Mayfield last year. They were like, hey, man, does he deserve a job? Do you want him even to be your backup? And now, here we are telling Tampa Bay, hey, man, y'all better bring in the right offensive coordinator because if you don't, I'm out. Yeah, here it is. The article pulled up on YouTube. Baker wants to know who the offensive coordinator is before he even talks a contract. I'm not even talking to you about a contract until I see who the offensive coordinator is. Don't even bother me. Is basically what he's saying. Don't even bother me until I know who the offensive coordinator is. I love it. I love it. So let Baker be in a system for more than 1 year. He is a good quarterback. You could say that. That's a legitimate conversation. That's a legitimate argument. Because what did he have, like 4 offensive coordinators in Cleveland? Something stupid. And the 1 year that he had the same one, he was pretty good. And then he got hurt, and then they got rid of him. But that's Cleveland. And then they brought in a guy, gave him $230 million guaranteed that can't play anymore. Whew. Raiders. I said it earlier. One of my biggest friends who's a diehard Raider fan, he don't like it. And I'm like, bro, you need to like it. They got Cliff Kingsbury. You don't think Baker would like playing for him? I think he already played for him. But they don't have a good relationship, though, do they? That's right, at Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury didn't give him a scholarship and kind of told him to leave. And you know Baker is petty, and he'll hold a grudge. I don't know if he'd go play for Kingsbury. Although he did thrive under that offense that 1 year in college, I don't know if he'd go play for him. He's petty. But that would, Baker, if he's smart, that would be an option. That would be an option. Kingsbury needs to swallow some pride and say, hey, man, I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. And if we can get past it, let's go get some wins. Let's make some music together. So who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, man, I think that is I think the Baker phenomenon and what he is doing is that's a good story. That's a good story. Just literally from barely hanging on to having a job. The Tampa Bay was desperate, and they made him compete with a guy that can't play in the NFL. Let's just keep it real. Kyle Trask, he can't play in the NFL. And they made Baker compete with him to get the job. And now he's turning that into, not only did we win our division, we won a playoff game. We damn near beat the Lions to go to the NFC Championship game. I need a contract. Oh, and by the way, you better hire the right offensive coordinator or we're not even going to talk contract with you. I love it. I love it. Now, Mike Yates says he needs to relax a bit. I don't think so. You got a limited time, especially the way he was treated over the last year and a half. You got limited time to make money in the NFL. He doesn't need to relax. Why does he need to relax? If his thing is he's not a rookie anymore. He's not a second year guy. He's trying to get a second contract and rebuild his reputation again. So if you bring in the wrong guy, why does he want to be a part of that? He don't want to be a part of that. I get what you're saying. He needs to be humble. Nah, not this time. Not this time. And I'm not sure, Mike, where you're thinking that Baker played behind the best offensive line, but Tampa didn't have the best offensive line. Now, he did have great weapons, but they weren't the best offensive line. Let's not kid ourselves, my man. Let's not do that. Let's not try to diminish them and do that. Yes, Matt Hasselbeck. Baker was on the verge of being a backup before Tampa. Now he wants to call the shots. Come on, man. Yes, Matt, yes. He wants to call. He's got the leverage. He's got the leverage in Tampa. What are they going to say? We don't want you? Okay, I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. The fan base will crucify the Tampa Bay brass if they let that happen. If they let that happen. Tampa's been looking for a quarterback to be there long term. This could be your answer. I mean, Tampa was so willing to get a quarterback, they were willing to keep 30 for 30 Winston. They've been wanting a quarterback so bad. They were willing to settle for that until Tom Brady came. So come on, man. I love it. I love Baker. You go ahead, brother. You go ahead. So Mike Yates said the Eagles hiring Kellen Moore is the nail in the coffin. They won't win the division next year. Yeah, I have no idea why they would hire Kellen Moore. I think that was a horrible hire. I think it was a horrible hire. So, yeah, I think it's – I think that was – I don't know. I think Kellen Moore's star has burnt out. I think his star has burnt out. You know, he was with the Cowboys, and Jerry Jones kept him on after they fired the coach. And then all of a sudden the coach was like, look, man, he's not doing what I want him to do. So if you want me to stay, I'm calling the plays regardless. So if you want him here, that's fine, but he ain't calling no more plays. Got fired, goes to the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. They're not great. Even before Herbert got hurt, they weren't great. It's just a mess. Kellen Moore, now he's in Philly. That's a mistake. There were other people out there that you could have hired. That's a mistake. He won't run the football enough.